If you are a parent and you feel your parent didn't do well in parenting you, they were always smacking, always yelling, always forcing, you didn't have a voice, you didn't have a choice, there is every likelihood that you are going to parent your child the same way. And your children or your child is going to sit back years from now and look at how he or she was raised and say the same things about you. You don't want that, do you? Now, the first thing you want to do is to watch this video from the beginning till the end. Let's talk about why that is so and what you can do to break unhealthy parenting patterns in your life. Enemy Rebel is my name. This is Parenting Solutions with Enemy Rebel, where you get empowered with effective parenting strategies to raise the child of your dreams. I made a post yesterday on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp about giving your child the advantage to stand out. And the parent reached me and said, oh, now that I look back to how I was raised, I was not given any advantage. My parents were toxic. They were always nagging, yelling, comparing me, judging me. I had no voice. It was a long conversation. And guess what? I'll share with you later how we concluded. But the thing is, if you're a parent who also feel that way, there's every likelihood that you're going to parent your child the same way. Now, why are you going to parent your child the same way? Firstly, there are factors responsible for why we behave the way we do. And these factors were also responsible for why your parent raised you the way they did. The first factor is temperament. Temperament is a man's natural self, a man's nature. The way you are born, the way you're wired. We have 4 basic temperaments: the choleric, the sanguine, the phlegmatic, and the melancholic. They have their different strengths and they have their different weaknesses. Let me give a bit of let me refer to one or two. We have, for example, we have the sanguine, who is very emotional, who is very reactive, very spontaneous, and they are fun-loving at the same time. Then we have the choleric, who is I want to say, as a parent, they are likely going to be authoritarian if they are not intentional. They are always driving. They just want you to achieve results. And because they are mean, they don't naturally have empathy in them. It will not be easy for them to understand your point of view if it's not work related, if it's not productivity related. So they want to drive you, they want to compare you, they want to pressure you. And if you are just as a child, you always do things that are children related, like just as you were a child then, you're always going to do things that you are children related. Now, because as parents, they don't have time for pettiness, they are always going to be offended and react to it. Let me look at another temperament, for example, melancholic. Now, these are parents with high standards and they are highly sensitive to shortfalls. So which simply means that they expect perfection from you. They expect a certain standard that is even above excellence from you as a child. And if you cannot meet up, then they are going to always be offended, always react. Now, these are their temperament. And another part is nurture. The way a person was raised plays a great role. Not just that you were modeled, not just that you were taught, you were programmed repeatedly. Things are being done around you repeatedly. Things have been taught to you repeatedly. Things are being modeled to you repeatedly. It becomes programmed in you. So now these 2 major factors are responsible for why your parents raised you the way they did. That you sit down today and you are complaining that they were toxic because of their temperament and because of the way they were raised. And guess what? Everyone has, you get your temperament from your parents, your grandparents, basically 6 people. As in an average of 6 people, your grandparents, your paternal grandparents, like your grandma, your granddad from your dad. Then you have your granddad, your grandpa, your grandma from your mom, and then you have your mom and your dad. That's 6 people. So there's every likelihood that you got your temperament from them. Of course, not exclusively from other family members, but most likely from these 6 people, which simply means that there's every tendency that you are getting a chunk of your temperament from your parent. So if your dad was melancholic and was always like my dad is melancholic, and your dad was melancholic and had high standards, and shortfalls were really a turn off for him. Shortfalls, mistakes were a unpardonable offense before your dad. There's every likelihood that you got his temperament, and mistakes are so unpardonable to you, which simply means that you are likely going to react to mistakes the way your father, your dad, reacted to mistakes. That is it. Now let's say you had a parent who was choleric, who was strong-willed, who was always imposing, who knew best, who was authoritarian, and you got that trait from your parents. Now there is every likelihood that you are also going to be authoritarian, not because you want to be authoritarian, but because that is how you are natural. That is how you are naturally wired. That is how you are made. Yes, people react to things differently. Have you ever wondered why you see 2 people driving on the road and there is something and one comes down, who are you, and all of that? You are crazy, you are stupid, you are wondering, and they did not even bash your car. Now it's just a little, like, let's say, kissing of the vehicles. Why all this drama? The same thing happens. Parents of different temperament will not react to issues the same way. That is true. So if you are choleric, or your parents were choleric, they may have reacted based on their temperament, which you got from them, which you are going to react to your child based on. And if your child also got a part of your temperament from you, then your child is likely going to behave the way you behaved. Now get the picture. Your parents reacted to some things that today you look back and you feel didn't make sense. Why did you do those things? Because of your age, because of your temperament. Why did your parents react the way they reacted? Because of their temperament, and because of how they were raised. Those parents raised you with certain ideas. Now you have been programmed. Those patterns were repeated before you. You have been programmed, and then you got a bit of their temperament. It simply means that you are going to respond to issues. You are going to get triggered by the same issues they were triggered by, which means you are likely going to react to the same issues they reacted to, the way they reacted to it. And your child, because your child also got a bit of your temperament, and because your child is also a child at his age, where age can be an excuse, your child is likely going to exhibit those same behaviors that triggered your parents. And those same behaviors are going to trigger you. Do you get the picture? You get the picture. Your parents gave a bit of themselves to you. So some things you did as a child triggered them based on your temperament and based on the fact that you were a child. Now your child is a child. Your child is going to do those things based on his temperament and based on the fact that he's a child. And because your parents reacted the way they reacted, you've gotten their temperament, you've been programmed to react that way, you are likely going to react that way. So when you look at it, you want to sit back and realize that in years to come, 10 years, 20 years from now, when your child looks back also, he or she is going to say, my parents were toxic. My parents were always yelling, always smacking, always nagging, always comparing me. They didn't let me express my authenticity. They were choking me. Your child is likely going to say the same thing. Why? Because even though you have no intention of parenting the way your parents did, you see yourself parenting that way. I hope you get the picture. So if you don't get the picture, it's okay. You can always send me messages at the end of the day. My number is always on the screen, or better still, drop a message under the video. Share your message under the video, preferably, so that others can learn from it and share. And if you are joining for the first time, thank you. If you are returning, thank you for trusting me to always give you value. If you are joining for the first time, please subscribe, like, share, do everything. And if you're returning, please do all the things you've been doing. Thank you so very much. Now back to the story of the parent who reached me. Like I told her, your child may sit back years from now and complain the same way. It's not enough to say, no, my parents were toxic, I don't want to raise my children like that. It's not enough to say that, really. What is enough is actually you put the work into it. Put the work into it and see how you can break the parenting pattern. Because if you are not intentional, your temperament weaknesses are going to take over you. The way you were raised, your childhood baggages that you have not healed from, they are going to take over you, and you are going to end up raising your child the same way you were raised, the same way you say is toxic. Now, because your child is a child and your child also has his or her own temperament, they are likely going to do that same thing or those same things you did when you were a child. And because you two have your parents' temperament, and because of the way you've been programmed, you are likely going to react the way your parents reacted. Now see it, which simply means years to come, your child is also going to call you names like this, toxic and all of that. So what do you want to do? You want to, first of all, forgive your parents, forgive them. Just know that it was what they knew. It's not like now when you have information everywhere. You are watching this here, you read articles on social media every day. It's not like now. They didn't know much. What they knew was what was handed over to them, what was passed to them. What they knew was being allowed to just flourish in their natural weaknesses. That was all they knew, and that was what they ran with. And guess what? Like I put yesterday, I put yesterday that a lot of these things, like parents cursing their children, stupid, lazy, and all of that, to them, it was a way to motivate the children. You know, the child does something and you are looking for a way to let the child know that this thing you did is very bad. You know, they are just trying to talk about how irritated, express how irritated they felt or something, so they could go on. They went on saying those things, not that they didn't love their children, their child or their children. They did, but they just didn't know better how to manage situations. So you need to excuse them on the ground that they didn't know better. But I'm not sure your child can excuse you in the future on the ground of not knowing better, because they know that now you are exposed to a lot of information and you know better. Rather, you should know better. They know there is PAC, Parenting Accountability Community, where you can register and become a member and get empowered to parent better. They are going to know that, so they may not want to forgive you. So you actually want to learn. You want to be intentional. So the first thing you want to do is to forgive your parents. Don't keep bringing it and having it break you. And so the next thing you want to do is to have your vision, have your parenting vision. My last video, I talked about why you should have your parenting vision in the parenting, how to set parenting goals. So you want to check out that video. The next thing you want to do is to have a parenting vision. Know where you are going to. My grandma used to say, if you know where you are going to, then you are not going to get lost. You are not going to miss your road. Know exactly where you are going to. Am I going to? Let me give you a quick hack to help you be conscious of your parenting. You want to know that, okay, in years to come, in 10 years to come, in 20 years to come, I don't want my children to sit back and say the same things about me. I don't want that. I don't want them to say I was unreasonably strict. I don't want them to say I was toxic and all of that. You don't want that. So that is where you are going to. You are going to a destination where your children will look back and say, oh, I'm proud of the way I was raised. I'm thankful to my mom. I'm a better person. I'm thankful to my dad. I'm a better person. I'm a healthy person. I'm a whole person because of the kind of parents I had. You want your children to look back and say that. So that should be one of your major whys. So you want to create your parenting vision. You want to know exactly where you are going to. Now, one of the very effective strategies to creating effective vision is to know where you are coming from, where you are, and then of course where you want to be. You ask yourself, where I am coming from, so far it has brought me here. So is this really where I want to be? No, this is not where I want to be. So if where I'm coming from so far has brought me here and this is not where I want to be, it means I need to do things differently. I need to do things better, or I just need to stop doing some things and learn to do different things. That's how you can create your parenting vision. Ask yourself where you are coming from, where you are, and where you want to be. That is the first thing you want to do in breaking parenting pattern. Now, the next thing you want to do is to get empowered. It's important. You get empowered because you don't know it all. Nah. There are people who are committed to research. There are people who are committed to helping you, who are committed to training, who are committed to learning how to parent better, learning effective parenting strategies. There are people who are committed to it on a daily basis. So you actually want to partner with them. You want to seek them. You want to meet them. You want to see how they can help you actually get better, or how they can empower you to achieve your vision at the end of the day. So I said there are people who are committed to parenting, better parenting strategies. There are people who are committed to parenting always seeking knowledge, always improving, always wanting to know how to do it better. So you actually want to meet them. You want to partner with them. You want to read books. You want to take courses. You want to attend seminars. You want to listen to podcasts, subscribe to YouTube channels like this. You want to do a lot of things to get yourself empowered. You want to ask questions. You want to share your struggles and get empowered on how you can achieve your vision at the end of the day. It's not just about having a vision board and things like that, but it's also getting the right information to help you achieve your vision. Finally, the last thing you want to do, you have your vision. Yes, you are getting empowered. The last thing you want to do is to take action. No matter the vision you have, no matter what you learn, if you don't take actions, you are not going to get results. So you want to do things differently. You want to break parenting pattern, you need to take action. You have your vision already. Yes, to break parenting pattern. You are learning, you're reading books, taking courses and all of that. You actually want to be in a place that you can always take action. You can always put in the work, because only the work guarantees success, guarantees your vision coming into becoming real vision. So thank you so much for trusting me to do this with you. If you are new, thank you for watching to the end. If you are an old subscriber, thank you so much for trusting me to always give you value. Again, share this video, comment, like, and turn on notifications so that you always get our videos when they are posted. Thank you so much. Enemy Rebel is my name. See you in my next video. Enemy Rebel is my name. This is Parenting Solutions with Enemy Rebel, where you get empowered with effective parenting strategies to raise the child of your dreams.